it's actually great to see so many people here face to face, and lovely that we'll be able to enjoy such an iconic venue such as the British Museum. For those that I've not had the good fortune to meet, whether it's in Turkey or here, as they said, I'm Paul Bixby, the Commercial Director for easyJet Holidays. I'd like to thank you, Imagine Türkiye, for the invite today and for the opportunity to speak to you all. It's great that we can have such an event like this now, after 2 years of hiatus, almost, you know, not being able to contact people. I was just reflecting on Kaan's speech there, and you know, actually it really shows the resilience of Turkey, that to have 15 million travellers in 2020, when we was at the height of the pandemic, really goes to show the strength of Turkey as a product. And then even 30 million in 21. You know, again, the world was in almost a pause situation where, you know, travel was very, very restricted. So we are now just over 2 years since our businesses were rocked by the pandemic. In that time, I've seen great resilience from business leaders throughout the travel industry that, let's face it, have had to make tough decisions, but tough decisions that mean that all of these businesses will be here for the long term. In those 2 years, everyone has learned new skills. Probably the most important of those skills is to say you are on mute in several different languages. Joking aside though, people have reflected on who they are, and what they want to spend their money on. And most importantly, I'm talking about the customers here. You know, they've had a long time to think about, and especially the British customer, about what is their holiday plans for the future. You know, last year in the UK, we saw a massive, massive resurgence of domestic tourism. You know, is that going to continue into the future? And these are the things that companies such as easyJet Holidays have to consider when planning for the future. Obviously, easyJet has been on the market for 25 years, starting with one plane out of London Luton Airport. We're now over 300 aeroplanes, and we have one of the largest leisure networks throughout Europe. In addition to the great success story of the flights company, we launched also a tour operator, a holiday company, in November 2019. So combining easyJet's flexible flight program with many sectors, multiple frequencies on a daily basis to Turkey in some instances, with hand-picked hotels and best-in-class technology to provide hassle-free personalised holiday experiences. We sent our first customers away in January 2020 and were soon hit by the pandemic in March 2020. And since then, it's continued to be pretty uncertain and a challenging time for the whole of the industry. We all thought travel was on its way back, and obviously it was for Turkey in some respect last summer, but very different for the UK, because come November we got hit by Omicron, which had a sort of a devastating impact on travel as an industry, because whilst we thought we were taking good strides and coming out of a really bad period, we went straight back to ground zero effectively. But now we're running full steam ahead. Quickly through January 20, we saw the relaxation of travel rules in the UK. And actually, the travel rules in the UK became obsolete very quickly. Second week of January, it was confirmed that PCR testing would go. Shortly after that, it was confirmed that actually all testing would go. And then shortly after that, passenger locator forms. These were the things that were holding customers back from booking. And we saw that in early January and through December. As I said, we are now seeing a huge amount of pent-up demand. And I'm hoping that all of you are seeing that in your businesses as well from the British market. This will be our first, as a holiday company, this will be our first fully operational season. And it looks to be bigger than we ever imagined from a holidays perspective. There is no doubt that the way people travel is constantly evolving. And seeing this, we've needed to adapt to the new customer demands. And when I was asked to do this, I was asked, what does the customer want today? What is the new normal for a customer? And I think we've been in a situation many years of customers just accepting the inflexibility or the demands of tour operators or flight companies in terms of how they book and how they continue on their journey through to leisure destinations such as Turkey. Despite UK travel restrictions being removed, there are still rules that exist in destinations, and we need to ensure that customers have the relevant information they need to make informed decisions. In addition, what the customers really want now is reassurance that when they're booking a holiday, booking a flight, that they are protected, up to as close to the departure date as possible. And this is not a temporary change. This is not something that we at easyJet or easyJet Holidays believe is temporary, and is actually going to be a permanent change to what needs to be offered to the customer. As an industry, I don't think we can afford to go back to inflexible policies that we once believed were normal. The new normal puts the customer front and centre. And we know from our own research there is increased demand for flexibility. And we've met that, we have put that in place. And I think a lot of businesses have done the same. And a lot of businesses that we work with have supported us in trying to give that flexibility to the customers. Whether it's a refund guarantee that people won't lose their money, as close to departure as possible. In our case, it's 28 days. Or not taking the full balance for a holiday until 28 days before departure. People not losing their deposit. These are really important things for customers, because whilst we think we are back to the norm, I think people are still nervous about that whole travel experience and the potential to lose their hard-earned income at the end of the day. This is an industry-leading policy, giving customers ultimate flexibility, protection and reassurance. And increased flexibility across the industry means it's really important that you, our partners, continue to ensure competitiveness with other destinations, which I truly believe Turkey does. Of course, we are now turning a corner out of the pandemic, but we have seen other world events impact the macro economy, putting pressure on the businesses and consumers alike. Everyone at easyJet is shocked and saddened by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And we are trying to provide as many free seats for refugees and support our charity partner UNICEF in supporting people displaced in Ukraine. But this has had other effects. The cost of fuel over the last 3 months has rocketed, almost seen hyperinflation. 3 months ago, as an airline, we could have bought a metric ton of fuel for $600. This is more likely now $1,100, $1,200. So a huge increase. In the UK, we have seen tax increases. As many European countries have, we've seen inflation. So people have less money to spend. And typically, what does the customer do when they have less money to spend? They look at shorter durations. Instead of 10 nights, they might go for 7 nights. Instead of 14 nights, they might go for 11 nights. And I think we've all got to expect this when we look at our inventory. Also, they book a lot of all-inclusive. People want the assurance of, once I've paid for my holiday, once I've paid for my, once I've paid for my experience, that's all I'm going to pay for the whole duration of the time that I'm in Turkey. Well, the good news is you have one of the best all-inclusive offerings in Europe. We are already seeing that over half of our beach customers, not just Turkey, but through the whole of our programme, over half are booking all-inclusive. In terms of Turkey, whether it's on the turquoise coast of Dalaman or down to Antalya, as I said, the all-inclusive product is one of the best throughout Europe. And that really goes to show in the numbers, with over 75% of the customers who booked Turkey so far booking all-inclusive. We are totally committed to meeting our customers' demands for great value deals. But we're also seeing that with the impact of all-inclusive, that people are taking an interest in responsible and sustainable travel as the world becomes more aware of the need to protect our planet. We have launched an inaugural sustainability strategy for easyJet holidays with a vision for a world where travel makes a positive impact on the environment and local communities. We've also become the first major tour operator to offset carbon emissions for our holidays. So the fuel used for the flights, the fuel used for the transfers, plus the energy from hotel stays. And we've launched, as part of our promise, holidays that don't cost the earth. Because sustainability is at the heart of easyJet and easyJet holidays and its customers, we have recently created a partnership with the University of Oxford and with the Travel Foundation to support our destinations by maximising the benefits and minimising the negative impacts of tourism. Many of you will know that we have plans to work with your ministry and local partners to build on the sustainability commitments in Turkey. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we achieve this over the next few years. As I mentioned, the market is coming back. In March, just gone, we flew 80% of our capacity versus full year 19. And actually for summer bookings, from a flights perspective, the last 6 weeks we've sold more seats than we did in the same period in 2019. So it's clearly coming back. We have strong demand for Q4 and we expect capacity as an overall programme to be flat to that same period, July, August, September versus FY19. But in terms of leisure routes, we expect that to be far in excess of 2019. We've got daily flights now of around about 1,500 flights a day, which will go up to almost 2,000 flights a day in the next month or so. And Turkey is a big part of that. With Turkey, we are featuring over 350 hotels, and just from the UK, we will have 115 flights per week to Turkey. We've already sold 20 times what we did in 2019, and actually our capacity to Turkey, which is something that we spoke to the ministry about back in November 2019. We wanted to invest in Turkey, and we've put the marker down in the fact that we have doubled our flight capacity versus 2019 to now 2022. So the intention is clear that we are truly behind Turkey as a leisure destination. Our future together is looking bright with more, as I said, more capacity added. I'm truly looking forward to working with as many of you as possible and developing tourism for easyJet holidays with yourselves in the future. It's fantastic to be with you all. I think this is going to be a great event. It's a real great start to be able to do something face to face. And I hope you have a fantastic 2 days. And once again, thank you for hosting.